Hey everybody. For me, hopefully the third time's a charm. I've already made this video twice. This is my third time because either I said something wrong or did something wrong or said something erroneous that would be misleading. So I'm going to try to get it as perfect as possible this time. We're dealing with the block quotation in today's lesson, and at the end of today's lesson, which is at the end of this video, comes the assignment. It's just one piece of writing that you'll submit in Schoology. There are videos around about how to submit an assignment in Schoology, whether you're working from a phone or a tablet or from your computer. I do recommend watching them. It may make your life easier, not just in this course, but maybe in other courses as well. And one of them is called How to Submit Written Assignments Using Your Phone or Tablet. I posted it on 3/25 just a couple days ago. Check it out. Might make your life easier. Anyway, the block quotation, it looks a little something like this. And as you can see, maybe it doesn't look a whole lot different from what we were dealing with when we were working from To Kill a Mockingbird and the Pearl, when we were working with prose. And now we're working with verse in the block quotation. It doesn't change a whole lot. In our previous lesson, we were going over how to borrow a single line or even a partial line and present it as text evidence out of Romeo and Juliet. And of course, here's the citation, which is author, Axine line or Axine lines, as we have them down here. Speaking of down here, this is situation 2, where we're borrowing multiple consecutive lines using end line slashes to let readers know where the ends of lines are. Same thing. What? Well, that was pretty much it. Wasn't too challenging. And this won't be too challenging either. Probably the hardest part will be writing lead-ins. Let's see. So here's the block quote. This is situation 3, wherein you have transitioned into, led into, and tagged some words that you would like to present to the reader as text evidence. And then down below, this is the explanation or the lead out as to why you borrowed that text evidence in the first place. How does it help you? How does it help you? These are the rules. If you're gonna block out some poetry, verse, you need to know, like, when do you do it? Well, you do that when you are presenting more than 3 lines of verse. If you're dealing with more than 3, it doesn't have to be 4. Could be 3.5, but when you're dealing with more than 3 lines of verse, the way in which you present it now changes from the day before. Most of these, especially this first one, that's a full line, full line, full line. That's 3 lines of verse, and you'll notice that it's not blocked out because it's not more than 3, but in this case, we are definitely dealing with more than 3. That's 6. You indent the entire block quotation 1 inch from the left margin. Very similar to what we were doing when we were working with prose out of To Kill a Mockingbird and the Pearl. You're going to present each line of verse on a new line. This is a new line because typically you would put it up here and just keep this paragraph moving. But now that you're dealing with a block quotation, new line, new line, new line, new line, new line, new line. We're omitting the quotation marks, which is exactly what we were doing before. I guess the only difference here in Romeo and Juliet, if you've noticed, that the characters' lines are not in quotation marks in the play. So you're not technically borrowing something that's already in quotation marks. So typically these would get 2 marks of quotation marks. And if you're going to omit the quotation marks, 2 minus 2 is 0, meaning there are no quotation marks in the block quote for Romeo and Juliet. And let's see, last but not least, oh yeah, the closing mark of punctuation comes before the citation now, which means this is what we were doing before with the block quote as well. It was a minor change, whereas in the previous lesson, in situations 1 and 2, the mark goes on the outside of the citation. Mark goes on the outside, but now with the block quote, it's on the inside. It's just a minor change. You're going to have to adapt and demonstrate that you can remember that. Easy enough. So those are the notes. They're available on Schoology as well, so that you can refer to them, so you don't have to just keep watching this video. But under the Romeo and Juliet materials folder, you will find those notes. They're down here at the bottom. It's the block quote lesson. When you click on it, there it is. Just kidding. There it is. It's the same exact thing we were just looking at, except now it's perfectly highlighted with Microsoft Word highlighters. And the rules are down at the bottom. It's the same rules that you just saw under the document camera. And here's where your assignment kicks in. So there are two possibilities here. You're being asked to complete one of them. All you gotta do is complete one and show me that you can handle this review, essentially, with a couple wrinkles where now we're dealing with poetry, verse, versus borrowing from Harper Lee or John Steinbeck. So the first one, I'm gonna turn it this way and see what happens. It's a little bit better for me. The first possibility is this one. It's being called Now Tybalt, and it's the same thing we have been doing, except now you're presenting a pretend piece of text evidence right here. These are some of Romeo's words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of Romeo's words, so they do need to get blocked out. You're being asked to present them as a piece of pretend text evidence, from transition to a lead-in. And you'll find this in the packet. It's Act 3, Scene 1. It's pretty deep in the scene, so it's kind of toward the back. And then present that, you need an attributive tag for it, and then you need to present it as a block quotation. And then a citation to show that you know how that changes. Or, did I say or? Or you can do this one. And pretend this is a piece of text evidence you can't live without in an argument that you are making, and then same thing, transition, lead-in, attributive tag. Present the text evidence as a block quotation, cite it properly, and then submit it in Schoology. I don't know if you can do this. Some people can do this, or you can do it in a notebook. If you're going to handwrite it and take a picture of it, fine. If you're going to type it up, which I recommend, if you're going to type it, whether or not you're on your phone, you can find this. You might even be able to copy this. Let's see, can you? I wish you could. But if you want to save some time, you can find this on the internet word for word, and you can copy it because you're going to type it anyway. And then just double check and make sure that what you've copied from the internet that you're going to present as a piece of text evidence meets the standards for punctuation, just in case something has changed. But that can save you some time. It's just a little hack. So pick one or the other, submit it in Schoology, and I don't have a due date on it. Some people haven't completed the first presenting text evidence assignment yet, so hopefully you get to that soon. And that's it. If there's any questions, you can post them down at the bottom of the assignment, and we'll deal with them as they come. Good luck.